Hey folks, it's Rebecca Simon Peter here with Leadership Mojo. I'm here to talk to you today about Platinum Rule leadership in changing times. Platinum Rule leadership in changing times. A lot of you know that my passion is really empowering church leaders and the congregations they serve that want to empower you to be able to own your agency, co-create miracles with the divine, and bring people together. That's really tough stuff in some ways right now. And that's why we're talking about moving from the golden rule to the platinum rule and leadership that is really geared towards the times we live in. So, what are the times we live in? Well, we've got polarization, we've got political polarization, we've got social polarization, we have arguments and debates about the pandemic. We have different points of view denominationally, theologically. But also, I've noticed in the midst of it all that there's a heck of a lot of offendability. Offendability. People on this side of things get offended. People on that side of things get offended. People in the middle can get offended. If you say the wrong word, if you frame things in the wrong way, there are some words you can't say over here with these folks, and then there are other words you can't say over here with these folks. I've noticed that across the social spectrum and across the theological spectrum, we have offendability. People are always on the abyss, on the edge of outrage. Have you noticed that? Maybe you've even noticed it within yourself, that you're quick to react to things. As leaders and as would-be leaders, as Christian leaders, as spiritual leaders, as people who aim to follow Christ, I think it's really important for us to practice bringing the heat down, to practice self-regulation. That's one of the key aspects of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is such an important concept and quality to use. And in many, many faith traditions, we have inbuilt methods of expanding our emotional intelligence. The golden rule is clearly one of those. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Treat people the way you want to be treated. It's such a high, lofty concept. In some ways, it seems passé because we've lived with it for centuries, but really think about it. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Do you not want to be made an enemy of? Don't make an enemy of other people. Do you want not to be judged? Don't judge other people. Do you want to have peace in your home? Don't bring chaos and conflict to others. There are times, though, that the golden rule doesn't go quite far enough because sometimes the way I like to be treated and the way I like to do things isn't necessarily what floats your boat, and vice versa. For instance, I'm somebody who really likes direct communication. I like to go at a pretty quick pace. I hunger for risk and adventure. I'm always ready for the next kind of exciting thing. Well, some of you right now are thinking, oh yeah, I'm just like that. And others of you are thinking, no, I like a more moderate pace. I don't want to rush into the next adventure. I want to kind of wait and see how things are going to work out. Well, in the work that I do in creating a culture of renewal, we teach people how to use the platinum rule because it uplifts the conversation even beyond the golden rule to really having to discover what is it that makes other people tick? What is it that makes other people feel loved and appreciated and heard and a part of? What is it that makes people deepen in their faith? The platinum rule can help you with all of that. The platinum rule can also really help with leadership in these changing times. So, a couple of tips I want to give you as we think about this. If you're in situations where things are kind of hot, or there's dissent, or there's not even dissent, there's just polarization and people not speaking to each other, here's a couple things to keep in mind. Half the people on the planet like to go really fast, and they like to make things up as they go along. Half the people on the planet like to take a more thoughtful approach. They like to think things through. They like to consider the consequences. They want to think about the implications. They want to really think about how it's going to impact people, whatever the new decision or the new action or the new project or the new stance might be. So just because you like to go fast, don't make the people wrong who like to go slower. Just because you like to go slower, don't necessarily find fault with people who like to go fast. It turns out that we're pretty much hardwired this way. We're all made in the image and likeness of God. The fast paced, risk embracing people, and the moderate paced, more thoughtful, careful people. We're all made in the image and likeness of God. So if you find that you're getting into trouble around pace, the rate of change, the rate at which you're willing to embrace new ideas or not, consider half your brothers and sisters hold the opposite point of view. See if you can practice the platinum rule instead of just making them wrong or assuming that you're right. All right, now let's look at the population another way. Not the same halves, but there's a half of the population that really likes to be people oriented and intuitive and emotion based and just accepting people's feelings and dealing with feelings. They make decisions really deeply influenced by their emotions. The other half of the population doesn't look at things that way. They don't approach things that way. They approach things from a logical perspective. They want things to really make sense. They tend to be a little more skeptical, a little more challenging, and want more of the facts. Now, if you happen to be an open, accepting, people-oriented, relationship, feeling-based person, you might think those other people, they're hard-hearted or they don't care about people. It's not true. They have a different way of looking at things. They actually want to have a command of the facts and do really careful processes so that people don't get hurt. But they don't start off with emotions. They don't start off with that wide open acceptance of every idea and every situation. They're carefully considering implications and facts. So if you're a fact-based, logical-oriented person, don't assume that the other people are flaky or that they don't think or that they don't have their head together. They do. The logical folks, you tend to lead with the head and then let information filter down to the heart. The feeling accepted oriented people, you tend to lead with an open heart and then let the information filter up to your head. Heart first, then logic. The other side, logic first, then heart. God's made us all this way, so there's nothing wrong here. There's just differences. I actually happen to believe that a lot of the challenges that we're facing, in the church especially, we think they're theological problems, but a lot of times I don't think they're theological. I think we clothe our issues in theological language because that's what we're used to using. But actually, what we're really talking about is our comfort with change, our comfort with embracing the unknown and the new, our comfort with continuity. And I think when we can bring the platinum rule to these kinds of conversations, we can quickly lower the temperature in the room, calm down enough to actually hear each other's perspectives. I think that's really important. Listening, hearing each other's perspectives. We love it when God listens to us. We love it when we feel comforted and known by another. Would it take so much to actually hear another person's point of view, even if you don't agree with their perspective or you think you don't? Maybe there's something just in the listening that makes the difference. I had a conversation yesterday with a colleague, and there was a bit of a point of contention between us. He remembered things one way, I remembered them another. At first, I was kind of hot under the collar about this. The communication I received just rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. I took the time, went back through some emails, found some communications we'd had from years ago, got present to the fact that we're colleagues, that we're friends, that we actually like each other and care about each other. And this little point of contention was just that. It didn't need to define who we were. It didn't need to distract us or sideline us. I was able to reach out from that place of love and connection and memory of what we have meant to each other. And from there, we had a beautiful conversation in which all kinds of things unfolded. Information that had been held close to the chest was revealed. Worries were unfurled. Acknowledgments were made. Love was present again. There are people in my family I don't see eye to eye with. especially around the pandemic. But you know what occurs to me? Long after the pandemic is over, I'm still going to be related to those people. I want those relationships to really last. I'm willing to put aside having to be right because, frankly, it's not going to change their mind anyway. I'm willing to put aside being right in order to have love. Platinum rule. This family member wants to be acknowledged and heard just like I do. This family member wants to be loved and accepted and have a sense of belonging just like I do. Extending that is the platinum rule. Insisting on being right and making them wrong, that's not even the golden rule. I don't know what kind of rule that is, but that's something else altogether. As leaders, let's practice taking a deep breath, pausing before responding, looking for the love that connects us heart to heart, soul to soul, life to life, beyond the current circumstances. Let's let go of offendability. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to me. Let's let go of offendability. Let's let go of having to be so right that everybody else has to be wrong if they don't get it just the way we think they should. God loves us. God has made us all in God's image, all of us. The people you like, the people you don't like, the fast paced, the moderate paced, the logic focused, the people focused. God has made all of us. Practicing platinum rule leadership in changing times is what will help draw us to love into the higher resonance that will actually make the biggest difference for all of us in the long run. This is Rebecca Simon Peter with Leadership Mojo. A pleasure to be with you. And I encourage you to stay connected because I'm going to be sharing all kinds of miracles and really neat things that are happening. I invite you to check out the website, RebeccaSimonPeter.com. Sign up for the newsletter, download the Dare to Dream Like Jesus plan, and stay connected. We all need leadership mojo these days. Take care, and I will talk to you next week.